This week, the much-awaited World Update 6 for Microsoft Flight Simulator gets delayed from the 24th of August to the 7th of September. More on that in just a moment. Meanwhile, OrbX announced a new mesh for Alaska which will overhaul the state's terrain. Now, OrbX are no strangers when it comes to releasing new terrain meshes. Previously, they've released terrain meshes for New Zealand and Iceland, so Alaska should be a very nice addition indeed. It's due for release on the 24th of August. I don't believe there's any price point at the moment. The product will contain a new 5-meter digital elevation maps, and OrbX have told me this comes from US government sources, so it should be of very good quality. Now, OrbX products are very easy to install. Basically, you get hold of OrbX Central, their software, and from there it's just a couple of clicks, so no mistakes on how to install and where to install. Very easy indeed. Another good thing about these mesh updates is they do not interfere or affect or directly alter in any way the existing game files. So that means if you're done with them, if you want to move on, they can be very easily and very cleanly removed. It also means there's limited possibilities for them interacting in a poor way with other mods. Now, despite this not releasing until the 24th of August, OrbX did send over a preview copy of this, and I've spent around about 10 to 12 hours today comparing different areas, the default version of Microsoft Flight Simulator against the new terrain mesh. And to be perfectly honest here, I can't really see any differences between the new update. Essentially, what you're seeing here is the OrbX Alaska mod installed on my main gaming PC versus a default version of Microsoft Flight Simulator installed on my secondary PC. There is some resolution differences here because one runs in 4K, my main gaming PC, the other one doesn't. But as far as I can see, there's not too much difference in the quality of the terrain here. So yeah, despite me having around 10 hours of footage to compare here, I was going to put together a very good video. I want to hold off on showing you too much of that because something that doesn't feel quite right here feels a little bit off, in fact. I know for certain that I haven't made any mistakes here, so instead what we'll do is come back and revisit this once the final product is released, and we can have a closer look at it then. Meanwhile, I'll reach out to OrbX for comment. In other news, World Update 6 was originally scheduled to release next week on the 24th of August. Microsoft have now pushed this back and delayed it until the 7th of September. After the various problems with Sim Update 5, it does make complete sense that both Asobo and Microsoft want the next update to be correct before actually releasing it, so I can understand their decision here if there's some problems currently or some more work needed on World Update 6. Now, World Update 6 will overhaul Germany, Austria and Switzerland. It will also come with 4 high-detailed airports and nearly 100 new points of interest. Personally, I'm especially interested in seeing what these POIs will be. Austria and Switzerland, after all, are both famed for their mountains. So I'd be very surprised if there's not at least a few mountainous POIs in there somewhere. Meanwhile, the new World Update will bring some improvements to other areas of the game, which include stability and navigation fixes. There was, as many of you will know, of course, there was many problems with Sim Update 5, and a few of these will be addressed in this World Update. Now, in terms of the game mode itself, the previous Sim Update improved performance, but as Microsoft themselves have confirmed, this did come with some expenses, some cost, which was popping of world objects, so basically a slight downgrade in the term or in the way that the graphics are actually rendered. So World Update 6 will bring some improvements to all of this with the Ultra settings on PC. This will allow the off-screen terrain to be cached at full quality. This means that as you look around, the terrain will already be in memory, hence it won't pop in and pop out. However, this will come with a performance cost and will reduce the frame rates. So we're going to have to see how large of an impact this will actually have. Hopefully performance will still be better than it was back in Sim Update 4. But either way, there's going to be a bit of a trade-off, so if you want full-on graphics, then you're going to have to accept a drop in frame rates. Or if you want an increase in frame rates, then you're going to have to accept a drop in graphics. I suppose that's just the way it is at the moment, but ideally, the right thing is for Asobo to give us the options here, rather than to not give us any options, so yeah, nice improvement for World Update 6 if that actually plays out correctly. Also, as a part of the update will be improvements to photogrammetry cities, which has had the draw distance increased. This will make it less likely for buildings in the distance to pop in and out of existence. There's also a fix for VR on the way, which will prevent the sim from crashing when exiting the sim whilst in VR. And talking of crashes, the latest dev update didn't say a whole lot about fixes for all of this. However, it did state that there have been several crashes have been fixed. Now, I know a lot of you out there have been experiencing a lot of problems with the sim since update 5, so hopefully this will fix most of the problems with crashing. Elsewhere, I wanted to see if the delay for World Update 6 has had an impact on Sim Update 6. Is it still scheduled for September? However, it turns out the latest development update is missing the roadmap, which means it isn't possible to get a picture on current dates. But I'm assuming the roadmap will make an appearance again next week, so we'll be able to get an idea of what's going on then. That pretty much brings us up to date then. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.